If you've been considering buying a brand new construction home in the Boise Treasure Valley area, there are a few things I think you should absolutely consider before you walk into a model home or contact a builder directly. Because one of the biggest misconceptions I hear is, if I'm buying directly from a builder, I don't need a realtor. Well, I'm here to tell you that couldn't be further from the truth. So in today's video, I'm going to explain to you why having your own realtor can help you save money, protect your interests, help you avoid costly mistakes, and make the entire building process significantly less stressful. But before we get too far into this, I'm Randall Ream, a realtor in the Boise Treasure Valley area who has extensive experience helping buyers buy new construction homes from both national production builders and semi-custom and full custom builders here in the Treasure Valley. And I've also spent years renovating my own homes and overseeing the construction process. That gives me both a unique perspective on the real estate side and the construction side of the process. A quick disclaimer before we jump in. While this video focuses on buying a ground up new construction home, don't tune out if you're looking at a spec home or an already completed new build. Many of the same tips, strategies, and benefits of having a realtor on your side apply to those purchases as well. So the first thing every buyer needs to understand, the friendly person greeting you in that beautiful sales model typically works directly for the builder. They're often called a new home consultant, sales counselor, or community sales manager. They're knowledgeable, they're helpful, and they're usually fantastic people, but their job is to represent the builder and not you. Their responsibility is to help the builder sell homes and protect the builder's interests. That's why one of the first questions you should always ask when you walk into the model home is, do you work for the builder or are you an independent buyer's agent? Because most people don't realize there's a difference. Think about it this way. When you buy a resale home, you wouldn't expect the listing agent to also represent your best interests without fully understanding what that means. Because if they have a dual relationship where they're representing both the buyer and the seller, how can they look after the best interests of both parties? The same principle applies to new construction. Having your own representation simply levels the playing field. Having a buyer's agent means you have somebody working exclusively for you. Their job isn't just opening doors. Their job is to protect your investment and best interests. That starts before you ever even sign a contract with a builder, because we're going to help you compare builders, compare floor plans, compare lot premiums, compare upgrade packages, and investigate builder incentives. Not to mention, we're going to help you find the best neighborhood and best community that fits your lifestyle. And having worked with many of the builders, we know opportunities that buyers have no idea to even ask for, because every builder structures their pricing differently. One builder may charge extra for features that other builders include. Typical items like that include perimeter fencing around the home. Some builders include it and some don't. It's important to know that it's not apples to apples all the time when you're comparing prices. Without somebody knowledgeable about the area and the different builders, it's easy to think you're getting the best deal when you really aren't. Because one of the other big misconceptions when you see the pricing online, that's usually from pricing. It includes a base model without a lot premium and without any builder upgrades. So a buyer's agent is going to help you understand that complete picture. So one of the biggest differences between buying resale and new construction is this. With resale, you're usually done with the process in 30 to 45 days. However, with new construction, the real journey begins after the contract is signed. Depending on the builder, the whole process can take 6 months, 8 months, or more. And that's a long time for questions to come up, because you'll have design appointments, financing deadlines, construction updates and walkthroughs, final inspections, and then ultimately your closing appointment. And a good buyer's agent is there for you throughout the process, especially if you're an out-of-state buyer. Because agents like me will walk your property on a regular basis, sending you updates, being your eyes and ears and boots on the ground. Because I'll be checking in with you, answering questions, communicating with the builder on your behalf, and helping solve problems before they become big issues. So you won't be navigating months of construction on your own. One of my favorite parts of the new home construction is watching the home come to life. From the foundation to the framing, mechanical systems, drywall, cabinets, countertops, and all the finish work, to finally handing over the keys to you. Having extensive experience in residential construction allows me to notice things that buyers don't even think about or look for during the process. Now, I won't be replacing a professional home inspector, because I always recommend professional home inspections even on a new construction build. But having another set of experienced eyes throughout the building process gives most buyers added confidence. Sometimes it's catching a simple issue early, and sometimes it's making sure questions get answered before the walls are closed up. It gives you the ability to be proactive throughout the build. One of the best advantages of buying a new construction if you're moving from out of state, especially if you have a home to sell, is the added flexibility you generally have with the building timeline. Unlike buying an existing home, you'll have several months before closing, and that gives buyers options. If you need to sell your current home first, You'll have time. Depending on market conditions, most new home builders will allow you to enter contract with a contingency to sell your current home. If you need to relocate for work, you'll have time. If you're waiting on retirement, you'll have time. If you're planning around a school schedule, you'll have time. And that type of flexibility makes moving a heck of a lot less stressful. As your buyer's agent, I help you create a strategy of selling your home so that it lines up as closely as possible to the completion of your new home. The goal is to minimize stress and ideally avoid situations where you're scrambling to find temporary housing. However, if needed, I can generally help you find temporary housing as well. The next area I want to talk about is just negotiations in general with a builder. First off, it typically costs you nothing to use a buyer's agent, and we're usually compensated by the builders. And with that said, we also have a lot of knowledge about what the current builders are offering in terms of incentives and other discounts. We have extensive experience negotiating directly with them. And unless you're a skilled negotiator, we're often going to save you thousands of dollars. And we're also going to work closely with your lender to determine where best to use those incentives. It may be for closing costs, it may be for a rate buy down, it may be put towards upgrades in the home, appliance packages, landscaping, and fencing. We're also typically going to know if those incentives are tied to using the builder's preferred lender. Sometimes they are, and sometimes they aren't. But overall, my job as your buyer's agent is to determine if those incentives are worth it or not. The community offering the biggest incentive isn't always offering you the best deal. Understanding the numbers matters, and that's what I'm here to help you do. Now, as I've discussed, I'll be your boots on the ground throughout the construction process, but I am not a replacement for your home inspector. Another myth I often hear is, it's a brand new home. Why would I need an inspector? Well, the simple answer is because every house is built by people. Even great builders occasionally miss things. An independent inspection before closing can identify issues why the builder still has a responsibility to fix them. I recommend inspections on virtually every new home purchase. So in conclusion, buying a brand new home is exciting. You get modern layouts and finishes, energy efficient construction and appliances, new warranties, and the opportunity to personalize your home from the beginning. But just because you're buying from a new builder doesn't mean you should go through the process alone. Having your own buyer's agent means someone is looking out for your best interests from day one until you have your keys in your hand. If you're thinking about buying a new construction home anywhere in the Treasure Valley or relocating to Idaho, I'd love the opportunity to help guide you through that process. If you found this video to be helpful, please hit the like button, subscribe for more Idaho real estate and relocation content, and leave your questions down in the comments. And if you're planning a move, reach out anytime. I'd be happy to help you find the right builder and right community for the next chapter of your life. So until next time, take care.